Grace and favor. Y'all know what let me see if I'm on first. I might be, maybe my thing is on Wi-Fi. Oh man, I'm on. All right, wait a minute. Yeah, maybe I'm here. Maybe I'm here. All right, I think I'm here. I think I'm gonna work this out. Do me a favor, when, as y'all come in, somebody just type one. Shalom, just type one. Let me know that you're in here and you're. I'm looking. I think I'm looking clear. Mighty AR, good to see you. Oh, good. Joe's daughter, we gotta talk. These Grace, Grace got to get out of here. They were upset with some of your comments yesterday. Good to see you, leader. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to talk. One thing I'm going to do is explain to people first of all what I do. I'm not involved in no gang, and I've been saying that for over a year, maybe 18 months now. I'm here to serve people the best that I can. Believers in the word. Try to help them with doubts they may have with scriptures, things non-believers may have. The problem is when I say believers, I mean everybody that believes the book, that believes on Messiah. And that can be a problem for some people. Set apart, good to see you. We're going to try to pick up a little bit from last night. I tell these people, do not, I repeat, do some folk just can't help themselves. I think it was one brother Rodney. I do have one that looks worthy of reading. I went through some of it, but a lot of times I get so much stuff coming in. Now, when I say that I'm here to serve the people, part of the problem. Good to see you, Johnson. We're gonna try to jump on, but I want to wrap some of this up from yesterday. When I say I'm here to serve the people, I don't want them to think it's no one group of people, but that's the problem. I'm willing to help when there's Pentecostals. I'm willing to help Adventists and different people, and that can cause problems in and of itself. So people could think I'm liberal with it, but I believe in the infallibility of the Scripture. I believe in the deity of Christ. I believe in all of that stuff y'all want me to believe in. I believe in it, but I just dialogue with all different type of people. And that can be a problem right there. Yes, thank you so much, Set Apart. Yeah, I'm here. I think I'm going over there. I'm right down the block. I'm actually a couple of doors from the Mother Church. And I'm going to go in there and we're going to talk about Freemasonry and the secret societies. But before I even get on that tomorrow, this afternoon with my Patreon people, I appreciate everybody in Patreon, but all the Patreon people, we're going to go in. Who's controlling this religion? Who's controlling the spirituality? And whose job is it? Cause y'all, I'm not gonna lie, y'all got the most for the church and the church folk, the preachers, they got the most for y'all. Whose job is it to develop you spiritually? Where Grace at? Grace like thought was energy was high yesterday. Whose job is it? Because sometimes y'all could be mad at the preachers, and it's not the preacher's job to develop you. I find a lot of people, as I'm out here and I'm talking to people, I find out a lot of people are upset because they felt the church could have told them more. The preacher ain't tell me this. And the preachers and them knew this and they didn't tell me that. Is it the preacher's job to tell you everything? So whose job is it to control and help you in the spirituality and in your spiritual development? Should you have to pay to be spiritually developed? A lot of people have a lot of questions and a lot of answers when we start dealing with the church and spiritual development and blaming the preacher and the preachers blaming the people. And you say what you want. A lot of people are taking this thing into their own hands. They want to take it into their own hands. Y'all see what I got today? I got some other stuff I'm drinking right here with that Illuminati symbol people talk about. I feel get rid of some of that regular coffee and get some other stuff. So whose job is it? And we're going to discuss that. But somebody else, the church people are watching. I got people in the apologetic community watching. The haters are watching. People in love watching. Some conscious folk watching. You got Freemasons. You got everybody watching. So in the midst of that, I'll get different things, but y'all see my the other brother with the YouTube channel came in here. The Rosario was in here last night. Some people come once I see some names, I know they're gonna come with some questions for y'all. They're gonna come with some things, and they feel it's their God-given right. It's their job. We like questions. It's a place of dialogue. They're gonna pull on up. So now the thing is, when Alton and them pull up, they say certain things and they put stuff out there and they get some folk tight. But some other people wait until afterwards, and y'all can get in touch with me at bereanteach@gmail.com. And a lot of people wait till afterwards and they hit me and they'll say certain things. And they're like, Berean, you trying to deal with a confused, unorganized people. They all over the place. Did you see them last night? On top of that, my man hit me and he said, you know, the moderates, the quote unquote moderates, I think he did have it in quotations, that y'all mentioned, they don't represent all Israel. And that's kind of what it's funny because the email I was reading right prior to him, maybe 2 hours earlier, that I was reading prior to him was saying that they're all over the place with their doctrine. They don't have no single structure or no one head, and it hurts me. It hurts me when stuff like that comes from Christians because we want to get out here and tell people get their doctrine together, and we don't have our doctrine together. Shalom, Mike, or Mike Shaw. Not saying that we don't all believe basically the same things, but we're quick to point fingers. And I want to be careful that we're not hypocritical. I mean, we're not hypocrites being Christians, being people that's involved in certain things. And we can often do that. Look at them and they different, and they all believe different things. When they gonna unify as a people? When I'll say, well, to the church and us, when are we gonna unify as a people? Hotep Ra Moses. That's the first thing. When are we going to unify as a people? 2, I'm going to talk about history. Because remember, I told y'all, if I'm an apologist, if I'm moving with a certain group of people and we're coming against a people with a belief, the main thing some people got, the majority of believers I know, the main problem they got is doctrine. Deity of Christ, nature of the Holy Spirit. What's the purpose of the law of Moses? Maria, you know they're confused with the law. You know they're confused with the law. How did the Apostle Paul handle the law after resurrection? How did John, how did Peter, how did they handle the law after resurrection in Jerusalem with James being the head of all things? How was that handled afterwards? I see my man BJ jumped on after we were on. Shout out to him, and he said some stuff and he tagged me in it. I got to watch most of it. Y'all get on that on Facebook if y'all know BJ out of Louisiana. He a minister, and he spoke on some things. But we can't be running around here telling people they need unity, they need a unified doctrine, they need to do this, they need to do that, and our poop don't stink. We gotta be careful. Well, I'm gonna see what somebody is saying. The law is just to reflect what we are in the truth. All right, you may have to unpack that a little bit. Somebody else said wheat and tears. Grace and peace. Good to see you, Mello. So we got to talk about some of that. When we start talking about Israel, Israel was never unified as a people, but they had a few things in common. They had the book in common. Most of them had the land in common and the belief in one God. You could say what you want. They were unique as a people in believing in the everlasting God, one God. They were unique as a people. The Romans, the Greeks, everybody bear witness. The Hittites, the Syrians, everybody bear witness. The ignorant folk over here believe in one God. And they ride in with that book and what they feel God spoke to them through that book. So why can't we all just build from right there? You had the Essenes, and the Essenes we don't find the Essenes, who some would argue John the Baptist, when in the wilderness, he was down with that community. Qumran, there are some scholars under the impression those are the guys that wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls. They never were in the temple. Then we have the Pharisees. And you know, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, those are two different groups of people. The Sadducees are liberal. They don't believe in angels and the resurrection, and the Pharisees are more orthodox. You had Sakari, you had Zealots. Jesus had Zealot down with him. You had different groups of people. You had different groups of people. Then you had what was made up the Sanhedrin. That was another political /religious group. You had different groups of people. So it's okay to have different groups, and people can't get out here and try to bang and say these people are not of God because they're broken down into different sects or different organizations, just like the church. We got to make sure when we're throwing rocks that we're not throwing rocks in a glass house when we're trying to say we're doing, we're banging, or some people, whatever you want to call it these days, banging or apologetics, just talking. We got to be careful when we're dealing with certain things. So they had multiple groups of people, just like we have in the church today. We got to be careful with that. And I just want to make sure that I bring that out. Now, when we start dealing with history and doctrine, y'all are going to hear Berean talk about the history of the AME Church, the history of Freemasonry, the history of the Bible, the founding fathers, and I do that for a reason. A lot of what we see in the Bible is straight history. You hear me? I'm going to help Israel. I want to help y'all out right now when you're dealing with my Christian brothers and sisters. A lot of what we're dealing with history. Acts, we call Acts the history book of the fivefold division of the New Testament. The book of Acts is the history book. In Acts, when Peter preached, when Stephen preached, when Stephen preached, he preached the Old Testament. He went through a history of Abraham and David, coming all the way through to show them the promised coming one to sit on the throne of David, the Messiah, how Christ was him. Paul went in the synagogue and he reasoned with them from their history book. Their religious book was their history book. People get worried when we're running around in Christianity and we want to preach and put history down when so much of the redemptive history, so much of the nation or people's history was tied into the book. Can spirituality work for a people today? And I'm not causing no trouble. Can spirituality work for a people here today now and devoid of history, separating them from history? This is I'm slowing down. Let me slow down. I just made a few statements, but I'm gonna look down and I'm gonna see what's what. Mike Shaw, help me, Mike. Help me, Mike. Carl, who else is in here? Set apart. Can we speak on history? Because remember, I told you a lot of folk, my people in the church, they ain't playing with that doctrine. Who these people say Jesus is? Who these people say the Holy Spirit is? What books these folks say are the original books that we need to be dealing with out the Bible? And those are enough questions to spend the rest of the evening on. So when we start dealing with that, I told y'all it was two strands and it was two ways to go. One way to go is the way of doctrine, and people argue in doctrine. What do these people believe? All type of people calling themselves Israel and claiming they're people of the book. Some calling themselves Christian Israelites, others Torah only. When we start dealing with that, doctrine is one way, but the other way is the way of history. What are we going to do by way of history? The other brother I was talking to, he said, the church don't want to see me. Grace and peace, Yolanda. He said, the church don't want to see me by way of history. And to be honest, a lot of pastors don't want to deal with history. Where does history fit in the plan of God? As a people, where does history fit for us? Some people say history is not to be preached. We're supposed to be preach Christ and the cross. And a lot of people don't feel, especially some of you folk, y'all don't think we can chew gum and walk at the same time. So we can't discuss a history, a redemptive history, a history of our people coming through a struggle. Like the two things are opposed to each other. You can't do both at one time. And we get on a lot of people for bringing up a history. Where does history play a role? I need y'all to help me. Somebody said, set apart, said Matthew 10. All right, this is some side conversations going on already. Some of y'all help me out with that. What do we do with some things like that? Or some people got beef with history. Some people got beef with history when so much of the Bible, almost 70% of the Bible, some people say 68, 71% of the Bible is history. When we say history, it's a narrative, it's describing something, it's telling a story that happened in the past. That ain't nothing but what we call history today. Start reading about anything in the past in the Bible, it's all considered a history. Is there a problem all of a sudden that some people have a problem with other individuals that want to bring up a history, that want to talk about a history? Others say Berean, I get that in the email, Berean, just leave it alone, there is no talking. They're going to believe what they believe, we're going to believe what we believe. I don't see what's the problem. Let us all move on. And like the pastor said, the church is strong. We've been going on strong. We've been going good. But we have to admit it. A lot of pastors don't want to admit it. We have to admit it. People not going to church as much as they used to. I was listening to Bishop Joey Johnson last night. Boy, he a problem. He said, a good problem. He said, and when black folk not going to church, it's something. Because we've been a church-going people. We've been a worshiping, praising, no matter what's going on in our lives. Worshiping, seeking after God, seeking his face type of people. Not turning our back on God regardless. What has happened? And I'm saying all of this stuff leading up to that New World Order, leading up to Benjamin Franklin, Prince Hall, AME, and all of them secret societies ruling the church and the bishopric. I'm going to say all of this leading up to that. Hopefully I can get all the videos out by Wednesday. But let me go there. We need our history to move forward, set apart. Y'all heard that. He said, we need our history to move forward. Thank you. My brother said hit that like button. I forgot all about it. Good to see you. Now, some people want to get offended because when y'all start talking about history, we don't know if y'all are upset with slavery, y'all are upset with certain things, and y'all gonna use the religion to abuse a people. We don't know what y'all want to do. And because people are looking into history and people are bringing DNA and stuff out, are y'all changing the gospel? Are y'all changing the simple message? Or is it because there's more information out here, y'all are doing more things? Not saying y'all are changing the message of Christ, y'all are changing the message of the cross. 90% of the church, I'm throwing numbers out there, but 90% of the church don't think anything y'all are talking about got to do with the gospel. Y'all using the book to form a nation, nationality, a movement. A lot of people believe Dr. King wasn't even saved. He just used the church like a lot of other people come and use the church to promote their Amway, Prince Hall. A lot of people use the church just to get their numbers up. AKA, people use the church and they come there with a thing in common, but they look to draft people into their organizations, the Boy Scouts or whatever. Noble Drew Ali, the Mossad, people just use the church to pull people out. They believe in this, get them and pull them out. Every organization that we have, Nation of Islam, Mossad Temple, majority of the people that they have came out of the church. So the church has been easy picking, some people would say. Or is this a unique and is this a separate movement? Is this a unique and separate movement outside of all of that? Virginia from North Virginia. Let me see. All right, grace and peace. I'm trying to see stuff. If the message, is this message that's being preached? Is this message that's being declared? Is this message that y'all are calling the truth coming forth? Is it taking you away from Christ? Is it adding something to the gospel? Because this is of concern to everybody, Mike Shore. Bible says, gather yourselves, O nation. So you think the Bible is just talking to one nation of people, Mike? Yeah, of course, Ron Moses is talking about that holy priesthood. Ron Moses can't help himself. Are we going to get into that? What are you talking about, the priesthood, the Levitical priesthood, the order of Melchizedek? So we got to look at these things. These are things that we got to look at and we got to bring out because people are getting offended, and we definitely don't want people coming with another gospel. Is the gospel changing? Are people being being played into something else? Why aren't people satisfied? Why they want to go to DNA? Why are you worried about nationality? If y'all were true believers, those that say they came out of the church, what's my sister name? Ivory something yesterday. She said, I believe everything y'all believe. Except who's who, far as the people. Except who's who, as far as the people. She said, I believe everything else. So what's the problem? So why don't the church, why certain people don't want to accept y'all? Shalom, shalom. Good to see you. Soul's the ancestor. We're going to try to catch you up on some stuff that's been going on. So why are these things taking place? The scriptures was for Israel, but no, the Bible is for believers. What was Mike talking about right now? Mike done left and came back talking different. The scriptures are for Israel. We got to see what he's talking about right there. What do we do with that? The other guy said, listen, who is Alton? These are all in the comments here. He said, and a lot of people do have that attitude, like, why do Israel have to explain anything to the church? I dropped a video a few days ago on that. Does the church even validate Israel? Those that think they're Israel, those that are searching out a thing, those are the searching out of history. Because y'all got to be careful as Christians. We'll come and get the answer in y'all questions and interrogating y'all, and we ain't answered nothing yet. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that, but some people feel that way. Like, why are we on interrogating seat? Some would argue, well, the movement is new, so, this is just what happens. Other people say, listen, things are going to be fragmented, and it's going to be a problem within any movement. Anybody who's been watching recently, they can tell in the urban apologetic movement is some stuff going on. And there's been stuff going on. Some stuff just spilling over now, but there's been some stuff going on. That's how I often tell people, remember timelines and when certain statements were made. Because when stuff look like it's getting ready to roll and it's getting ready to be crazy, remember all what y'all have been seeing or what's been out there, matter of public record. All right, before I get out of here, I'm going to jump on with I'm gonna jump on my Patreon people. I just wanted to drop some of that stuff. I just wanted to put some of that stuff out there. People saying Israel's here, there, everywhere. They scattered. They all over the place. It's this one group. It's that one group. Somebody else said, well, Brian, how many groups are there? How many groups are there? You got people as messianics. They believe in Messiah. They say they're Israel, or they're quote unquote moderates, but they believe a whole bunch of everything. And that's where some people have a problem. They'll try to point to y'all and say, listen, y'all are too all over the place. Y'all can believe what y'all want. Pick up and believe what y'all want. But what all of y'all believe, let me read what Yolanda say. But what all of y'all believe is y'all are chosen by blood. Y'all are Israel by blood. Y'all got to lay more into that history. Y'all got to challenge these folk on that history. If the history is right, if the history's not right, it's okay. The history's not right. But if the history is right, people got to bring that history out. And for some reason, the church, and we want to lay into history when we want to lay into history, because we quick to run to the church fathers when we want to trace doctrine. So we can't say that we don't lay into history. You got to watch. I told y'all before, you got to watch what these folks saying and what they not saying. You got to watch. But I can't really get into the depths of it because a lot of people feel that, it's anything I do is banging. Anything I do is banging because I'm not helping no one group. I'm just bringing information out. I'm not helping no one specific group. So if they don't know what side you're on, that's when people start saying, but Berean, what side are you on? They want to know. They want to make statements like that. Let me see what my homegirl's saying here. The Bible speaks of three groups. Yes, you did say that yesterday. Paul says in 1 Corinthians 10:3, the Jew, the Gentile, meaning the nations, and the church. Everyone born again, Jew and Gentile. Very good. The movement has always been, we are stiff-necked people. Very good. Set apart. Y'all been hard-headed. And I'm glad you said it. Salvation is the most important thing, but it's not all that the Father is doing. When the Bible started off with the covenant, it was with a group of people. Now you want to ignore the relationship. Absolutely so. I think a lot of people, like my man said, a lot of people in the church, they don't deal with eschatology in the last days. They don't deal with a lot of stuff like that. Remember, a bunch of us believed that the rapture was going to take place, the church was going to be gone, Israel was going to be down here just running amok, doing what they want and handling the Antichrist and just being terrorized by the Antichrist. Then Israel going to come to a reality of who Messiah is. And, we've been taught a whole bunch of that stuff. And a lot of people went with that. So when we started dealing with the rapture and Darby, and when some of this stuff came in here, for the most part, the church having a lot of people, not everyone, but a good bit of people in church haven't been heavy in no eschatology in the last days. Remember, a lot of people have been teaching replacement theology. Listen, the church is Israel. There is no circumcision of the flesh. It's just one. And circumcision of the flesh means nothing. It's just one people. And, a lot of people have been promoting that. So nobody has ever even looked to see that. Ask the average believer, they think, Israel, what do you mean? Israel is the church and it's whoever's a believer. We all down together. But if you look at the text closely, Yolanda, if you look at the text closely, is there something totally folk? Is there something totally separate for those folk? And if there is, and it's in that book, because we love saying, oh, that's the Old Testament. If that's New Testament, if Paul thought there was something going on separate that Messiah was going to do in the last days, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. And that's something that the churches and a lot of people or some people are not versed in. I talked to my man the other day. I was talking to the other pastor, shout him out. But like he said, so we have a whole different view. If I didn't know anybody, I'd think he was Israelite, the way he breaking scripture down and talking about certain things. But he explained it very well. He said, we coming from an end time ministry, so that's kind of what they doing. Revelation, eschatology, Daniel. His bishop apostles, he's moving in that prophetic, and he's been doing that for, I think, 60, 70 years. And he's been teaching on the people and the land and the times and all of that stuff. And he coming all out of even the book of Acts. He bringing out strange passages, but it's in the book. Let me try to read some of this because I want to make sure, because like I said, people come here with knowledge. I don't believe so. What's this kind of conversation, Yolanda? Israel has not been replaced. No. Okay, all right. Oh, Sean said, get that bogus replacements madness out of here. No, a lot of people believe, no, I don't believe that, but I'm saying a lot of people do. Well, we're talking about this replacement is going to come up, and replacement then could be one of the reasons that we have a problem, is because people believe in replacement. No, God is not enough, though, with Israel. Wait a minute, what Yolanda saying? What Yolanda saying? No, God is not enough with Israel? I don't know what you mean by that. That might be a side conversation going, oh yeah, that definitely is a side conversation. Now, wait a minute. Who's this right here? Somebody said the souls of our ancestors said we all have inherited lies. That's how come I think it's good to dig into some history. We got to dig deep into some stuff because some folk have lied. Now, how deep have lies gone? Some of us want to just touch it on the surface and we'll say certain things about Jesus and his ethnicity, but we're not going to get into the depths of it. One, we don't want to offend anybody. Two, if it's not about race, if it's not about skin color, why even bring it up? Other people say you're carnal. Who just said that? Who just said that? Souls of our ancestors? Let me make sure I get the name right, because I'll mix all of y'all up. If it's not about that, how would you straighten out the lies if you don't go back into it and start bringing up ethnicity, start bringing up nation, start bringing up race? No matter race isn't even in there. That's why there's a lot of believers that's confused. Because the first thing they'll say, to keep it simple, for the simple mind, to keep it simple, God is love. Don't worry about skin color. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Let's just move on to promises of God. But promises of God throughout, it's Israel scattered, it's nations, day of Pentecost, all what happened, it's still a lot. So how is the pastor teaching that? How is that Bible study going forth? What's coming out of that? And anybody can say they've been in any church. When you start dealing with Bible study and you start bringing up nations, nationality, and what that mean in that tongue and what date, when, and you start bringing up all of that stuff, ooh, that's a problem. Y'all go listen to BJ. He a tongue talker. He a tongue talker, and this shows you the level of what's going on, that there's people that's out here and they're saying stuff. Good old Pentecostal folk, but they reading the text differently than some other people. So when people run around telling y'all need to be unified, boys, some people looking at that text and it's not what a lot of people think it is. I think one of the problems come into a lot of pastors, they've even been mingling with the people. They don't know what the people believe. Even those that are still coming. There's some ignorant folk ain't coming or doing some other stuff, but even those that are still coming, they don't believe everything you believe in that church, and they still going to the church. Of course, grandma went there. They feel God got them locked in there. They like the program for their kids. They married their wives there. They going for different reasons, but they don't have to necessarily believe every single thing that's coming across that pulpit, and they're still comfortable in being where they are. That's I'm just talking reality right now. I'm just talking reality. Let me try to see if I catch something. Joe's daughter said, some folk have lied and they want some people to not worry about it and to just wait for the sweet by and by. And that has always been the thing. That has always been the thing. A lot of pastors I ain't going to say a lot, but there have been some pastors that didn't want to, one, rock the boat, two, get into deep research, study, and prayer. When God is bringing illumination to a people, Daniel, when he began to understand some stuff, he still had to go back to the prophecies. Ezekiel and them, they had to go back to the prophecies. They think, listen, captivity is almost over. Let me see what the scripture's saying. They're beginning to pray and search out some stuff to get the answer. So illumination, no matter it's spiritual, illumination still has to do with research, meditating on what the prophets of old said, meditating, going back on the history of our people. Oh, Lord, I'm going to start confusing folk when I start saying our people. But it's the people of God. It's the righteous folk, and that's where the problems are coming in. People are running, saying this, he's saying some other stuff. He's saying because they're looking for things. People are looking to pick some stuff. But this is just reality. This is just reality what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the righteous rush. You said don't bother. That's the other lady. Don't bother me right now, lady. Let me see if she on it. Don't bother me right now, lady. Let me read some of these comments. I got somebody breaking my focus, breaking my concentration. To the moderates, is there any hope for the Gentiles? Hey, Dixon, grace and peace. Is there any hope for the Gentiles? I'm sorry. It's the breaking my thought. So we got to understand when we're praying, when we're understanding something, we're getting in the book, we're getting into history, we're attempting to allow the Most High, allow y'all to illuminate our understanding with things. I was just telling my sister earlier, I said you could say what you want. There's a people, they want to come back to holiness in the book. They want to come back to holiness in the book. We're calling y'all a cult, but there's some of y'all don't want cleavage out, booty shaking all up in the choir stand. I know it's no rent your heart, not your garments and all of that stuff, but we got too much. We might have took our grace, we might have took a freedom in Christ, and we might have went too far with it. So we got some people right now, okay, y'all may say they're not seminary trained, but they want to pull back on some things. They want to pull back. They want to say, let's go back to some of these landmarks. We might have went too far. We got some, we got some liberty. We ain't got to run around with our heads wrapped up. Wife ain't got to have her whole face covered up, just her eyes and them showing like Sarah and them. But maybe we went too far. Started showing a little bit of lip, then started showing a little bit of shoulder, showing a little bit of cleavage, booty all out. Then we just all over the place right now. Now the church looking like the beach. It could be, no matter that's petty stuff. That's all first thing they're going to say, Berean, that's petty stuff. We got to deal with the depths of the spirit. And I try to hit my peeps with that. She's like, wait, and she always coming with them scriptures. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes we might be living in a day we need the Bible thumpers to come up with some stuff and get to showing some things, because we could have lost and run too far. You know, we know it's not about outward appearance and all of that other stuff, but Rick, you can say what you want. I'm in the New Testament right now, Baker. New Testament talk about moderation. And brothers can say what they want, preachers can say what they want, but they don't want their wife out looking crazy. What that other preacher name is? He said, if you're the preacher wife and you dress like that, you a hoe. I said, Lord, they ain't gonna like this. They ain't gonna like this fool right here. But these are things that we have to look at. Like I said, I gotta get out of here and jump on with my other people, and we gotta go further with these discussions. We gotta go further with these discussions. And I urge everybody, when we're dealing with truth, and we're dealing with truth is for all men. God's truth. When we begin to start speaking God's truth, I urge everybody, forget about camps, forget about moderates. Who want to follow the truth? Who want to follow the truth of the book? And one of the things that's been jamming us up, my man talking about the Israelite doctrine is jamming people up. I think one of the things that's jamming us up is a lot of these titles. A lot of what's jamming us up is your AME and your this and your that, and that jams a lot of people up. It is a new day, and the Spirit is speaking to a multitude of people. The remnant is made up of a multitude of people, light, dark, dreaded up, long, here short, here fat, people, skinny people. The remnant is made up of a people that want to just go back. We coming out of Babylon. We want to go to Jerusalem. It's going to take some time. We got to build up the walls. We got to do everything. So in the midst of building, some folks saying, I can't come down off the wall. In the midst of that, other people all day, the Bible says, with Ezra and them, from morning to night, they out there reading writ. So people going to be spending time teaching that writ, what we need to do. They wild out and start saying, we got to get rid of these wives. I'm like, Lord, these dudes want to put their wives away. But they were serious about the written reform. We just want to go back. We just trying to figure it out. So in the midst of that, we all hollering. We over here hollering the Christmas tree. We hollering the Easter egg. We hollering, wrap yourself up. Other people saying, take off the makeup. Other people say, come out the church. People saying different things in the midst of all of this. That's so we sing the Lord's song in a strange land. That's all what this is about. Oh, y'all watching? We get ready to talk that talk, God. We got all this stuff. What is the Spirit saying? How is this thing coming down? What is this history? How is He bringing us out? How is He cleaning us up? How are we looking at all of this stuff? And what are we going to do with this stuff after we see it? Sanctify yourself. When it was getting ready to come across the land, and Joshua and them, listen, some promises was made. Our forefathers died out in the wilderness. We finna go in there and take that promise. Joshua told everybody before they crossed over, sanctify yourself. For tomorrow, the Lord is going to work wonders among you. So we're at a stage. Spiritually, some people are at a stage. And we thinking, I got to put this away. Man, a lot of us ain't dealing with that Ouija board, but boy, listen, dealing with this astrology and dating people on POF, talking about, I'm a Capricorn, you what's up. We got to put it away. Sanctify yourself. It's a new day. It's a new era. All right, y'all want to exercise. Y'all want to do whatever y'all want. Hey, let the whole church bring in the yoga. Let the whole church bring in the Easter meditation. We falling back. Sanctify yourself. We going somewhere else. Do what y'all want to do. I know the pastor got a MDiv and all of that stuff, but we good with that yoga. We good with that tree. We good with that meditation class they finna have up in there. We gonna fall back from that. There's a remnant. The remnant saying we are right. And they Israel, they're chosen. They're the church too. They're chosen. Because remember the whole Babylon story we've been talking about. Some people chose to stay. They had freedom. They could stay. It wasn't that bad over there. They had section. They had housing. It was okay. A lot of Israel had businesses in Babylon. I shouldn't have said that. A lot of them had businesses in Babylon. So there's a lot of Israel, there's a lot of the church that's comfortable in Babylon. They good and comfortable. So when we start talking, listen, you run around here talking, Miss B, Yolanda, y'all run around here talking, they're like, what's the problem? Ain't nothing wrong with no Christmas tree. They got businesses and they getting money. They getting their cake up. They getting their tithe. Ain't no Levites around and they getting their tithe up. There's some stuff that's good. Stuff is good. That's what y'all don't understand. Some of y'all sitting back saying, well, why can't they see we in Babylon and we got to get up out of here? There's no need to get out of here for some people. For some people, there's no need to get out of Babylon. And they were still Israel and they left, but the rest of them said, listen, Joshua said, it's been me and my house. Later on, I know I'm going back and forth from an earlier time to a later time, but it's all the same movement. It's all the same thing. It's all the same remnant. And it's all the same people that's holding on to the promises. Remember, all of the spies went in and they all saw the same thing. And they came back and Caleb and Joshua said, let us go up at once. off with their heads. We're going to trust this book. We're going to ride with this book. And that's the problem. Who's riding? And you got some people's riding hard. They really like, yeah, we finna go up in there. We're going to get them that business. If he say we can do it, we going to go in there and do it. Then you got the other people. They're like, oh, man, did you see the size of those? And you looking and, they're looking at the situation a little differently. How much are you trusting the word? How much are you trusting the writ? This thing is a little deeper than we think it is, and it's every individual person. This is the time. Am I crossing over? Am I coming out? This is the season right now. A lot's going on, Corona. And then, but before we even get into all of that stuff, Bible says in the last days, men will be inventors of evil things. People running around. Is it man-made? Is it not man-made? The same thing when the HIV came out. And then people worried about other folk dying. But y'all know about the Georgia Guidestones. We don't know who put it up there. Some granite company said somebody just paid us and we put it out there and they said we got to bring the population down. We got to bring the population down. There's a lot going on. Y'all know the story of the Pharaoh and everything in Egypt. We got to kill the man-child. Y'all know the school to prison pipeline. Y'all stop. Y'all not crazy. Y'all are a people. Y'all not crazy, but we're in a season that they didn't know that God shall be strong and do exploits. But we got the priests. We got people bringing things out. We got to be in this writ. We got to understand what's going on. And like I said, we got to all make our individual minds up. It's going to be A, B, C, and D. Without holiness, without which no man. So we all clean it up. I said, listen, get the curse thing out the crib. Every individual person right now, get the curse thing out my phone. Yeah, Shorty and them got these. Shorty, your picture got to go. We got to start getting the curse thing up out of here. Get up off POF. We got to start. Listen, we get rid of some of these accounts. Sisters running around here talking about they saved, they want a godly man, and you looking all any type of way online talking about you picking up. No, we got to get this accursed thing. We got to clean this thing up. We got to clean this thing up. I like what they were ringing out to me. No good thing will we hear withhold from you. I got to put this stuff down. I'm out here crazy. I'm out here. I'm saved. God, I love you. We believe in Calvin. I'm Calvinist. Listen, I'm getting out here, Lord, and I'm trusting you. All things work together. And I got to put this hammer down. Come on, I'm preaching to myself. I'm ready. I'm boy, listen, I see him, I'm going to hit him. I love you, Jesus. I'm on my way to church. But if I see him, I'm going to hit him. And then I'm going to pray that they don't die and I'm going to get up. I got to get it right. We listen, we're coming to a time. I'm exposing myself and I'm saying some stuff to y'all at the same time. Listen, we got to make up a mind. This is what it's finna be right here. This thing is going to go down one way or another. It's going to go down, get down or lay down. And it's to every individual person. How much am I going to surrender myself? Thank God for my sisters, some people. How much am I going to surrender myself? Am I going to take time off like, Lord, I got to backpedal this whole thing now. I got to backpedal this whole thing. Listen, if you're going to ride and die, you're going to die for the... Well, you're going to ride and die for the kingdom. You're going to ride and die for the religion. Because a lot of times when you're riding for the kingdom and the king and riding for religion, it could be two different ridings. Now I'm reevaluating who I've been riding for. Oh, Lord, I ain't going to be talking no more. I'm done. And this I'm saying, I don't like going too far. May the Lord watch me through progress. What's good? We got to figure these things out. Jason Brown, it's a lot, man. It's a lot going down. And we got to keep it 100 with ourselves. How are we going to do this thing? How far are we willing to go? Our forefathers missed out on some stuff now. This generation, what y'all finna do? I'm sorry, I ain't got no education. I'm talking what are y'all finna do? And listen, some people gonna be like, yo, we riding. And I can't lie, I got some young folk, they don't even, boy, I'm like, boy, they ignorant to the next level. They don't even care. You know what I'm saying? They got young kids, they're like, yo, I'm riding. Let's go. We gonna get it in. The books say it, I believe it. I'm like, man, the old people used to believe like that. Now we got some young folk, they educated, but they ride. Boy, that book said, I don't care what them other folks said. I ain't thinking about that other dude. So what's that for? I said, well, these are commentaries. They stupid. I'm like, well, these are some commentaries. If y'all gonna spend the money, we gonna pull the books out and stuff like that. That dude grab that King James Bible, I'm good. Think about no commentary. Who them white people? Oh, Lord. I'm getting out of here, y'all. I'm getting out of here right now. Y'all know what it is. $, Maria Teach. We're going to be down there for a couple of days, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that Freemasonry and religion. Who's controlling you? Who's been controlling the spirituality? A lot of us are in the situation we're in growing up in church, being down with the church. A lot of us are in these situations, and a lot of stuff is happening. I don't want to slide. That's that coffee kicking, and I don't want to slide. Thank you. We appreciate you, Sweeney. I don't want to slide and not read some of these comments. But we have to know some stuff is going down and some shaking is taking place. Keep that in the forefront of your mind all week as y'all are making up your mind who you deading out your phone, what changes you're making. Because we getting ready to go up to the mountaintop. We getting ready to go up. We got to sanctify ourselves. We got to leave some folk behind. We got to live like Abraham. Abraham went to sacrifice. And he took his son and he started to go up to the sacrifice. But the Bible said he left his servants behind with the asses. Y'all got to get to leaving some folk behind with the asses and move up. I want to hear. I want to go deep. I want to do something else. It's next level time. I feel like telling you touch your neighbor. It's next level time. We got to go somewhere else with it. We got to understand the seasons and what's happening. Whilst the men's hearts are failing them because of the times. We reading the book. Boy, this ain't Illuminati. Boy, I ain't think about them Freemen. I ain't think about the mystics. Boy, the book is exposing them. And I'm seeing things and I'm understanding through the book when other men's hearts are failing them. Monday morning, they say more people across the country have heart attacks on Monday morning than any time. They think about a whole bunch of stuff. But we got some instructions. We know some stuff that's going on. And the crazy thing is when it comes to these devils, Benjamin Franklin, them cats moving and operating one way. And they had a plan because they came with magic. They came with the occult doctrine. They had a plan, but then you had some other praying people at the same time. The plan was unfolded, the secret destiny of America. We're going to make it Atlantis. We're going to make it the New Jerusalem. You know, we're going to make it Mecca. It depends what degrees you're coming up, because you could come up in the lodge talking about Solomon's temple, and then you could switch over when you get higher up in the lodge. Then they start talking about Mecca, but you got to know what they're saying. They still casting spells. It's the same genie. It's the same stuff to get you away from the book. So they got the book opened up, presented in front of you. The book is in the lodge opened up, so you think it is one thing and it's another. And they brought that same Swift G they was using in the lodge, they brought it out and they gave it to us. We've been seeing it opened up in the church. We've been seeing it opened up in the courtroom. But they did the abracadabra, the okey doke, and switched it up. So now we don't believe in the book. So now they can usher in other stuff through the occult magic on us. So now it's in the church because we don't believe a lot of stuff. They can say what they want. The effects of paganism is upon us. Any way you want to, oh, that tree ain't. Listen, all them folk was riding them folk. None of them folk could say, yo, the tree ain't original. It's magic when they can't say, when you can't come out and say something simple like that. I'm not playing with these boys. I'm not playing with them. Let's get into the book, and when you challenge them deep on the book, you'll be surprised where the backpedaling come in. You'll be surprised. Thank you, Baker. You'll be surprised where the backpedaling come in. Oh, y'all talking a bunch of good stuff. A lot of them talk some good stuff. But we got the, like I said, the God said, you got to show and prove. You got to show and prove. Every time I go on, I say, God, start doing these videos on my phone, get the ringing. And I'm like, oh, Lord, I know them folk going to be like, you just ain't going to listen, are you? I can't. No, I try. He said, my man said it's a slippery slope. It's real out here. We got to get down to it in the midst of y'all showing us and in the midst of us going in and get more illumination in the text, illumination in the history, and trying to get a deeper understanding. He's never mad at somebody that's trying to get a deeper understanding of his word. Don't let these folk fool you. No, he ain't mad at that. Matter of fact, he honored that. He honored it, meditating on it day and night like a tree planted. This thing is bringing something to me. I'm finna lay into this thing right here. More and more people falling back from TV. Listen, I ain't thinking about them Kardashians. I got to lay more into this thing here to find out what's what. Because the depths of what's going on, a lot of what's going on is in here. Y'all ain't got to watch all that YouTube. Lay into this thing and start unfolding some stuff. I like what the other pastor said. He said a whole bunch of people talking about I don't need to teach, and they all over YouTube. Lay into the depths of that word. He's going to start unfolding some stuff. We call it different right now. He's going to start downloading some stuff. We in the hour to download. He dropping things in our spirit. They trying to fool us. Oh, no, you got to understand the written word and trying to lock us in. Listen, his own writ says dreams and visions in the last days he pouring out. But the problem is you ain't up in the Catholic Church. You ain't got your head wrapped up. You ain't got a collar on, and you don't think he's going to pour it out on you, so you got to go and listen to them. You got to go listen to what everything they saying. And nobody's saying that a preacher ain't a pastor, ain't a bishop, ain't called of God, but not every one of them. No, wait a minute. God promised some stuff. He said he's going to pour out his spirit upon all. What that writ say? I said this good book said all flesh. So now with some stuff that he's pouring out on me, your sons and daughters, he got to be showing me something too. I believe, I read, I'm in the writ, I call on his name, he got to show me something too. Wait a minute, all this father leader stuff. Of course there's something that did this order inside of the body. And the body is made up of all of us. Of course there's order in there. God is calling for order. Of course, there's order in there, but at the same time, boy, y'all ain't gonna talk me out of this spirit speaking to me. These dreams and visions are getting ready to understand the depths of who He is. They want you to be a slave. Forget about dreams. Forget about back and I forget about what the book say. And they've been doing that to us. Y'all can say what y'all want. We could go back. They've been doing that to us. They've been saying, "Oh, forget about this. Forget." I don't say forget about this. All in the book. How they giving you something that ain't in the book, and they telling you forget about what you seen in the book? This ain't making no sense. This ain't making no sense. Houston, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. I'm doing this in the name of the denomination, but you don't really know the depth of when you understand it. You got to go back into the way. No. Listen, talk English. Talk regular English and explain what's going on right here. They're going to give you a whole runaround. They're going to give y'all a whole runaround to explain why they doing what they doing, and you sitting back saying, now, I know he got a degree, but I'm looking straight at this King James right here, and that verse says A, B, C, and D. Tell me why you said we don't have to. And then they start going, but you got to understand, if you're going back to the time of it, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, boy, this is going on. I'm sitting back watching. I'm letting them talk. I'm like, I'm going to be quiet because, boy, Shorty trying to think. Shorty trying to think, but I can't say nothing. I'm getting out of here. I'm done with y'all. I'm jumping off. And my man said, yo, it's 190 some people in the room, man. You jumped off. I'm like, nah, you don't want to start going too far. We don't want to start going too far. There's a place that you can go and you can't come back. And it ain't a bad place, but it's just a place like, yo, man, why, you ill. Why you do that? You know? And y'all can see me. I'm going through. Y'all see my whole evolution. Y'all see what I'm going through. Y'all seen it. Y'all experience it. It is what it is. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Like I said, Berean Teach Gmail, $Berean Teach on the Cash App. I'm gonna chop it up with some of them Patreon people. I know y'all in here, so I'm gonna drop that code. We're gonna get in there. We're gonna talk that talk. We can get in there. We're going to talk that talk for a minute. And when we get up in there, I know they already loose. I got 3-4 questions for them, but they're gonna already be loose. So I might as well just jump on here. All my new Patreon people, yeah, I appreciate y'all too. Let me go back and see a little bit. I'm sorry. Somebody said they was commenting. Who was that? Said they were commenting yesterday and they got blocked. Let me see. No, that wasn't Mike. No, that wasn't Baker. Somebody else, Yolanda. Let me see. Even simple stuff, like when we start talking about the books of the Bible, simple stuff. It's okay. You're not going to hell if you go to church and you read Maccabees and your church don't read Maccabees. You know, but don't go shock your grandmama and them. You read Maccabees and you running up on grandma at the cookout. Some of y'all wild with it too. You running up on grandma. Grandma, they don't even read from Ezra in your church. Your church, your pastor going to hell. He don't let them. You shocking grandma and you getting the whole family. Some of y'all ill with it. I'm going to leave y'all alone. I'm going to leave y'all alone. Some of y'all get out here. Y'all get to evangelize and y'all get to finding some stuff out and wild it out. Oh, no, Yolanda, D. Rosario is in here. I know D and Alton had him going. Alton's in here. D and Alton had him going. I got to get that other thing jumping. I don't want to go back down to the city. But y'all know I came out here to do one thing and something else jumped off. But to God be the glory. Whatever it is, it's gonna be. But we're gonna have to get them on here and let some of these people talk, because y'all got to really hear what some of these folk have to say. Israel, they're going to be asking a lot of questions. If y'all in here and y'all are Christian, y'all don't identify with Israel, y'all got to know the Bible clearly says there is a people called Israel, and there's a separate work from them. We got to challenge people. Your church talking about replacement theology, we got to challenge that. We just got to ask. The pastor got to be fluent in so much stuff. We could be back and forth, but pastor, let's just lay it out. We bring clarity to all of us. But for the most part, a lot of pastors don't want to bring things out. How many churches you go to, even on a Wednesday night, the floor is open for questions and answers. That alone should show you something. That alone should show you something right there. A lot of these places not open for questions and answers because you got to dig. You got to dig. Let me see. I don't see. All right. I was trying to see if there were some questions before I got out of here, and I'll put the thing up there, add it up to the video. I hope y'all not seeing all of these other comments coming down on my screen. Hopefully y'all not. But I'm gonna try to finish this coffee. I didn't even finish this coffee, and we still end up wilding out. Berean Teach. Everybody got my Cash App. I share with everybody. Give $1 if y'all want to give $1. If y'all don't, God bless y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all know Berean. I put it all out there. We out here, but It's not the end of the world. We're not drinking regular coffee. We have stepped it up. Thank God for the saints. We stepped it up. We're not eating regular Chinese food. we sat Applebee's and ate wings and Applebee's, and think we even tipped them $6. We stepping it up to $11 chicken wings. We leaving the $3.50 chicken wings on the block. So we stepped it up. God is good. I thank him for all the little increase here and there. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna put that code in right now. What time is it? Where's my other, what you call it? Whatever time it is, I'm gonna jump on the Zoom. Oh, all right. I got some time. We're gonna jump on the Zoom like on 7 o'clock. I'm gonna put that code